Welcome back to the Foundation. This is Swaytoven, and I kind of want to reinforce and or just open your mind to this idea that when you find a particular sound, there is that sound that there's a melody for that sound, basically. All right, that's what I believe, and I once made this one saxophone melody not that long ago. I was just messing around with the Flex plugin, and I played a couple notes on my keyboard, just the regular keyboard for the computer, and I made a melody that I thought that I stole. Literally, I had to I uploaded it to YouTube and had to just see if hey, did I steal this melody? No, I was an original, right? But it reinforced this idea that I've already believed, that with a sound comes a specific melody. So it's just it goes hand in hand, but it's especially when you find it and you actually get that match. It's because you could just make a melody and put any sound over those notes. You really could. And that makes me think about a comment that I got recently called qualia. And someone said that I should kind of look into that, is because it's just the definition of that is, in terms of music, is likewise hearing a musical note played by a piano and hearing the same musical note played by a tuba, right? So my interpretation of that is, let's say I had a melody. Would that melody sound good, right, with a piano or a tuba? And you probably should think about that, because think about a trap beat, all right? Think about the future, the bum 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 bum, right? It's the Metro Boomin beat, bum 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 bum, right? That's a trumpet, right? You think that would make any sense with a harp? It wouldn't make any type of sense, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that's just a trap beat, a type of beats that don't really emphasize much on melody, but the melodies could be fire, you know? But if you listen to maybe more of a melody that, and this is the most beautiful melody I've heard in a minute, that Billie Eilish beat. I don't know the name of the song, but it's da 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 da, something like that. And it's just it sounds beautiful, and it's just those sounds just fit what that's supposed to be. And it's just I can't, it's something that you really can't teach, right? But at the end of the day, you can probably get better at understanding it, because there's a lot of experimental sounds. You can open up Pigments and make an experimental sound, and it's just sound that no one's ever heard before, and you'll just make a melody out of it. But then you have melodies that don't have to be flipped. People want to flip melodies so much, and we have melodies that don't have to be flipped. We can play these notes for as long as they're held off for, to play them together. You can play these chords, right? But people want to flip so many chords, make arpeggios. That might be a lack to in my opinion, music theory, which I wish I was better at. I learned it for 5 years, but I was a kid, too young to appreciate it. But it's just those more beautiful melodies, they don't get flipped. You hear them out with the sound that belongs to those melodies, and it's just maybe going on forward, making chords and stuff like that, just keep that in the back of your mind. You might want to make a dark type of beat, so you'll make some chords and try to find some sound that's dark, but maybe don't. Maybe try to find a different sound, right? And then what I would also suggest is, when you make chords and you find the MIDI for them, and you make the chord MIDI, I would export it as a waveform, because then you'll look at it differently. You won't look at it as MIDI. You won't look at it as you want to change it all the time, and you're gonna look at it as a sound, and you're gonna say, maybe there's a different type of sound I can add with it, rather than what other chords or melodies can I add with it. Of course, to make those chords and melodies, you're gonna have, whatever, blah blah blah. But it's just yeah. So it's just, this is the saxophone melody that I made, that I thought that that always existed, because it's just I thought it was such a solid saxophone melody, or I think it's such a solid melody for a saxophone, that I think this beat had the potential to, if I didn't overcook, to be really a hit song, a banger. Apologize for the sound in the background, but it's just I feel this is always could have just been, to be honest. And that's what I also believe the power of sound is. Sound always has been, is, and always will be. So it's just there are melodies there are things that are absolutely timeless, right? Just think about all these amazing singers in the past with like the rock songs and like the pop songs and blah blah blah, right? It's not even that crazy because of the beat. It's because those people have made those melodies and produced those sounds and noises, right? The element of like the human. You feel me? Other than that, we're moving into the digital age. So it's just like we've obviously been here for such a long time, but it's just like kids aren't gonna know the difference between AI and this, that, and the third. Not that you should be using AI, but that's just an idea. The fact that it almost don't matter how human it sounds. I believe at this point, right? If it sounds fire, it sounds fire. You feel me? There's so many people that are going to be so worried about analog and warmth and all that stuff. Yeah, maybe, that particular sound will have an effect on people. They can really hear it. Other than that, I mean, there's people that are suffering from actual brain rot with skibbity toilet. So, I mean, who cares? It's kind of hard to hear the saxophone. If I were to, I guess I'll open up the folder. I guess. I really do want to show it, like the melody, like, and then the video's gonna end. Then that'll be. It might crackle. It might snap, crackle, and pop. Might get the Rice Krispies. All the CPU usage. Just how I used up your mom. This beat also could have been made better with better automation, I believe. But I like I said, I don't really automate much stuff. I didn't feel like doing it. Look at all this. It's probably so unnecessary. But this is the set. Look at this. Right? I just made a video about the nitty gritty MIDI. Alright, well, I mean, I'm close. I'm obviously close to outside. So, but anyway, the nitty gritty MIDI. And I mean, this is what it looks like. This is what the saxophone sounds like. And. I mean, there you go. Sounds like that. But it just sounds like the perfect saxophone melody for this, I suppose. You know what I mean? And it's just like, there's no flipping, there's no modulation. I played this is a couple of notes. This really is just a couple of notes. This melody is a couple of notes. Like, it's so crazy how this whole thing was inspired off of me playing a couple of notes off my keyboard. You know what I mean? And I mean, that might not happen for everyone, but I think it's crazy. I think that's absolutely crazy. And it's going to lead to my next idea, basically. It's like, do you lose the feeling of music by making it digitally?